Hello everyone. By popular request, the lore accurate Xenomorph series is back, and since I've been playing Alien Isolation a lot lately, I thought what a better return to the series than with good old Stompy themselves. Let's talk about it. Brief disclaimer, lore accurate builds are always subjective as they can be taken from many different scenes, canons, media, whatever you want to call it. As long as it's close enough, it's good enough. When it came to this build, I wanted to encapsulate the feel of the alien from Isolation's gameplay, and that mostly came down to the advanced AI of the character. A simple explanation is that the beloved alien from Alien Isolation, that so many people call Stompy, functions on two different AIs. The Director AI, which is the omniscient force that knows exactly where the player is and feeds hints to the Xenomorph, and the Xenomorph AI itself, which uses its senses and hints from the Director in order to find the player. To do this, I put together some perks that simulate the Director giving hints to the Xenomorph, starting with the Chucky Teachable Friends Till the End, which has two effects. First, whenever you hook a survivor who isn't the obsession, you reveal their aura for 10 seconds and they are exposed for 20 seconds. The second effect is when you hook the obsession, another survivor screams and reveals their location to you, then they become the new obsession. This creates the feeling of the Director AI giving the Xenomorph AI the exact area of the player, but not the exact location. While the scream or aura reading does actually give you the exact location of the character, it only does so briefly, so by the time that you reach it, you must search for the player yourself, just like the Xeno AI must do in Isolation. This also generally reaches the vibe of you as the player knowing the Xenomorph is coming for you, because obviously you screamed and you had that tip off there, and having to hide before they get there. Next, I want to emphasize how the Xenomorph sometimes randomly drops down on the player very suddenly. To achieve this, we're going to need some stealth, but not the kind you would expect. We will be using the only teachable for this, Nemesis, which is whenever the obsession switches to a new player by any means, the survivor is oblivious for 60 seconds and you see their aura for 8 seconds. Additionally, any stuns or blinds swaps the obsession to the survivor who did that action. Even while using the motion tracker and listening to the Xenomorph move around the map, sometimes the Xenomorph can just randomly drop down and force you into a tight pinch where you must use a crafted item or hide in a shady spot and pray that you don't get caught. We see this translated into DBD because the oblivious will apply every time Friends Till the End swaps the obsessions, allowing us to get that sudden drop on the survivor. In addition, the Xenomorph in Isolation also loves to go for other survivors on Sevastopol if they disturb it, which is reflected by the obsession switching part of the perk. To further enrich this build, we're going to be using the Nemesis Teachable Lethal Pursuer, which allows you to see the aura of all survivors at the start of the trial for 9 seconds and extends all aura reading by 2 seconds. Not only is Stompy quite literally a lethal pursuer just in definition, you're basically cooked unless you have a flamethrower when he spots you, it also synergizes well with the theme of the build. Our build benefits best when you chase the obsession, which you will be able to see the outline of whoever is the obsession thanks to their aura being revealed at the beginning of the match by Lethal. Friends Till the End and Nemesis both have aura reading components to them which are extended, which is extremely important for Friends in particular because one of the main counters for Friends Till the End is hiding in lockers. Similarly to Isolation though, hiding in lockers doesn't mean much to us, and with that we translate it to DBD since Lethal will often catch survivors getting out of lockers since the aura duration is now very long. Finally, our last perk is the Plague Teachable Dark Devotion, which is when the obsession is injured, your Terriers is switched to them, becomes 40 meters wide, and then you become undetectable. I picked this perk not only because it fits the mechanical theme of our build of chasing after the obsession, but it also mirrors one of my favorite tactics the alien does in Isolation. The alien in Alien Isolation loves to fake you out. Many times the alien will hiss as if it has seen you when it really hasn't to get you to panic and make a mistake. It'll retreat into the vent to make you think it's gone away, just to come right back down and get the drop on you. It does all this with the intention of making you make a mistake and fall right into its trap. I don't know if you realized on Survivor, but looping with a killer and undetectable is really tricky because of the lack of the red stain, meaning that mind games become even more powerful, which sounds right in line with the tricks that the Isolation Xenomorph loves to pull. Furthermore, the Terriers attaching to the obsession and having the obsession run throughout the map will scare the other survivors and make them panic if they're not on comms, which sounds perfectly representative of the chaos and paranoia that overtook the Sevastopol station with every man out for themselves. Finally, let's get into our add-ons. Firstly, we have Emergency Helmet, which increases your resistance to the flame turrets by 15%. This add-on perfectly represents that even when Amanda Ripley gets the flamethrower in Isolation, it's not an end-all be-all solution. The Xenomorph slowly gains resistance to the flamethrower the more the player uses it. Eventually, the alien will blow right through it it and hit the player anyways if they use it too much. For our final add-on, we're going to be using Self-Destruct Bolt, which increases our vault speed in crawler mode by 30%. I did this for 2 reasons. First, the alien is extremely agile in isolation. Once it's spotted you, you're done for, regardless of the obstacles in the way. There's even a cool part in, I believe, mission 17, where the Xenomorph dives over a partially blockaded door to fake out the player, which I think lines up with this add-on pretty perfectly. The second reason is, well, there's literally self-destruct bolts in the game in the second to last mission, so yeah. This build's game plan is pretty flexible, which I like a lot. The main plan is to chase your obsession down and hook them with help from Emergency Helmet, Self-Destruct Bolt, and Dark Devotion. The obsession switches thanks to friends till the end, and that obsession becomes oblivious thanks to Nemesis. So you get the drop on them thanks to the stealth. However, even if the obsession evades me, it's not really a big deal because one short chase with another survivor and hooking them results in the obsession not only being revealed, but also they are exposed. So this also allows an easy chase. I like having options when it comes to builds, and it allows us to keep the flow going when unexpected things happen. However, you don't have to take my words for it. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's showcase matches.
It was not like, you know, far enough.
Susie, never. I understand that in the context of the movie, like that's a song that they sing, but that is like a one-way trip to get clipped out of context, like easy. Like that will never happen.
I'm not throwing that as interesting. Ooh, right behind me. Oh, she had the turret, so she do. Oh, but she still ran into me because I didn't have the because I was oblivious, so she didn't know where I was. So even though she could hear me, she couldn't pinpoint me. Let me just kick this real quick. Guess you're stuck in that corner anyways. She had no clue, dude. No clue where I was. Oop. Messed up the skill check. Hello? Not my obsession, but... Hey, you're right here. Hey, they're both healed. So... Never mind. Oh, you're gonna click at me because a perk said so? Wow, you're so good. But guess what? Now you're the obsession, bro. So what's the game plan? Click that, goober. Nice clicks, dude. No, I didn't have the range for that. We did get a pout out of it. Hi, Satin. Ooh. Usually I'd go for the obsession here, but they're right here. Come on, buddy. If only you had some sort of perk to stop this. Come on. Come on, dude. Bro, if you're gonna click and be rude, please be good. Homie, you have deep wounds.
You can't do that while on deep wounds. You don't have an endurance stick to give, you goober.
Oh, wild work, man. Hopefully you're well. You know what's funny? That chair you got, when I got this chair, I almost got this one, or that one. I almost got the one you got, but I decided with this one. You press the E key! Listen, if you're gonna BM, you might as well, I don't know, be good on top of it. That way you can actually, like, get my attention. What's the point of BMing and not even being good? It was also really comfortable. The name is funny, but it's actually really comfortable. It was just like, I'm not really a tall man by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I didn't like that it didn't go all the way up here, so I couldn't like lean back, you know? Yeah, if you're gonna BM, at least be good enough to like back up the BM. Yeah, what up? Hi. Because the red stain disappeared, she didn't think I was coming this way. Yeah, the topic of the day has been Lord of the Rings all day, so you've come in at a good time. Ooh, okay. That's why lethal is perfect with this, because even if they do that, I can still see your aura when you get out of the locker. Almost like I thought of that. But Brian, what about the main counter for this perk? I thought of it. Don't worry, I got you. Ooh, double turret. That was a staggered double turret, too. That was good. That's exactly what they should have done. Well done. Okay. Knuckle players love to BM. Why do you think that is? Because I have noticed that too. I'm gonna come out at that tunnel, but not the close one, because if I go to the close one, well, actually, yeah, this is fine. He is trying to sneak across here. There she is. Did you sprint burst? I think you sprint burst there. There's no way you made that much distance just from the half second you went behind that. Yeah, Shane is really cool. Yeah, because this shack has the border windows you can see through. Yeah, what up? I love Zelda Shark Bolt, dude. I'm undetectable here, so. The problem is this shack has so many boarded up windows. I can't say. Oh, Light, I see. See, I got outplayed, guys. See, I made a bad play, so now she's winning the chase. The bad play being, I don't know. See, now we're about to lose the game. You know why? Because she vaulted a pallet, and she had a, or she vaulted a pallet. She vaulted a window, and she had a perk. See? Truly, I just should have played better. You know what I'm saying? I truly should have played better. Xeno add-ons you make base kit? No. I don't think making add-ons base kit is like the one-stop solution to making any character's problems go away. Xenomorph's main issues don't really fall from like, you know, it doesn't have enough add-ons. Case in point. The problem doesn't come from, there's not enough add-ons base kit. It's just like the power is clunky and barely works. The power is a pain to use because it barely works. Like, I shot so high above that ledge, but somehow I hit it. Like, but that happens like every third or fourth shot, if not more. And it's just like, there's just no reason that should be happening 3 years post the character's release. Like, it should have been resolved in the first 2 or 3 months. Not 2 or 3 years. But then we can start thinking about, like, should the character have more stealth? Should the character have a facehugger mechanic? But the first and foremost thing is you gotta fix this character, because this character is buggy and clunky out the wazoo. Like, they, quite frankly, they barely function, and it's a shame. They function about 2/3 of the time, which is not what you should be going for. Okay, she ran that way. That was just me missing. Hit through walls? No, it doesn't need to do that. That would be really weird too. There'd be no like low reason for that. Yeah. The fact we got down to 1 gen in a game like that is kind of unreal. That shows the state of the game, unfortunately. Playing well, unfortunately, really isn't like a, you know, it doesn't mean you're gonna win. Oh, the ZZZ. Yeah, Nako. I legitimately think Harpoon Gun is unfair, but because it's on such a bad character, like, it doesn't get, like, the impact that, you know, let's see, Hanako, that it should have, right? So it's not going to get changed, even though it's, like, realistically not a fair add-on. Alright, well, what we can do is have a quick chase here. Interesting. You know that counters dissolution? Found that out today. Will they do the... Will they reset the pallet like that? Hehe. She didn't like that. She doesn't know, chat. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know! Sorry. I'm coming back. I really should have gone around the hill so they wouldn't see me coming, but like, who cares? Bugbot, choose life. Why are her cheeks out in this fit? Why do they keep doing that? They did it to Sable, and now they did it to Fung in this fit. it's a little uncomfortable. Durl. Coming for you, Durl. Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, he doesn't know, chat. He's gonna see me down here in a second. He's like, oh god. Oh man. Thankfully it bounced. He was running up to the dude, he was running up to that control station there. Didn't even see me there. Woo, still got it. I'm better. Okay, I do need to break this. Oh no, I just missed the other one. That was me truly missing. I aimed a little too high on that second one. Because I realized too late that it was there. And I did my best to adjust, but it was just like, you know. But as you saw, they were spaced out. But when it's spaced out, it's extremely hard. If not nigh impossible to hit a double turret if it's spaced out like that. They got there too late! Crazy. So rare to see double turrets? Yeah, despite how good it is. Not throwing that is interesting. There's Kate. Well, that's what I've been saying lately to you. Is that I generally think that, like, most of the player base that plays DBD just, like, doesn't enjoy the game anymore. They just want to win and show off their skins. So that's how you get weird stuff. Like, people are like, I won 2v8, time to BM! Because, like, they legitimately think they did something. Because that's their expectation of the game. Like, I think I can go find my slug. It would make sense that the flame turret hindered the other killer. Because, like, the whole deal is that Xenomorph doesn't like fire. It'd be weird if just, like, for some reason, now Nemi doesn't like fire. You know, it's like, oh. Boom. Sus. Oh. What was sus about what I did? What? Oh. I'm being accusated. You sus? What about... Okay. Let's put on our thinking cap. What about that game or this build make them think I'm cheating? They have 1K hours. So they're just at that area. They're just at that area where, like, they're getting their fundamentals down. So, do you think it's the perks? Do you think it's the character? What is setting off the false alarm in their head? Which is like, you know, you live your life however you want to live your life. Like, whatever works for you, works for you. But when you start forcing that on other people, can't be doing that. Okay, our obsession is Rick. Yeah, a lot of things in life will never get better if they're never criticized. I think one of these is Rick. I don't know which one. That's not Rick. That is sable-shaped. But the good thing about this build is because of friends, you could just get right back to your obsession if your chase is quick. Like your first chase is quick, which is what we're doing. I do not know that term, but I'm always willing to learn. I like learning. Yeah, I think, because like, that was Rick up there. I just picked the wrong person. We can do a little bait tech. Okay, no, he's just going back to the gen. Oh, we'll meet him up there. What was I saying? That's Adam. I want Rick. Hi, buddy. I think some people grew up in situations where, like, either it was a friend group or, like, their parents, which is a much worse situation, like, expected the child to be the... Still value. The, like,
emotional, like, controller of the situations. Like, it was their responsibility to calm everybody down. But it's not a situation you should be in. So I think some people take that and, like, think, like, it's more of a trauma response. It's not, like, ill-willed or anything. But they do that with anybody expressing any negative emotion. They're just like, oh, I gotta fix this. And it's like, well, no, you don't gotta fix it. I thought he was going up the, thing there. But he was not. The ramp, that's the word I'm looking for. Going up the ramp. Good duck, good job. You have to duck the high side. Because if you duck the low side, I hit you anyways. Are you not? Can you? I guess yeah, and that, like, I had to do that a lot. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I still have to do that with my parents sometimes. Luckily, I don't live, like right next to them or anything anymore. My brother understands. That's my brother probably has to do it way more than I do now. But still sometimes with my parents, like, I have to be like, okay, I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it's that steep. I don't think it requires that level of reaction. And it sucks that you have to do that for people that, you know, should be doing that responsibility for themselves, you know? But, like, you gotta know that, like, you don't do that to strangers. Not your responsibility. I even guessed what she was gonna do. But it just kind of, like, did not work. That really sucks. I know I'm trying to build, like, a thematic build, but I'm really seeing just, like, how much worse Emergency Helmet is than Lambert Star map now. Like, it is. Whew. Leaps and bounds. The better add-on than Emergency Helmet. I know I've always said that, but, like, I'm confirming it really hard. Yeah, because, like, some people just, like, I would say it's, like, a healthy thing to, like, feel the emotions if you're feeling them, right? If somebody's like, if I was saying, like, generally, guys, what do I do? Then, like, I feel like that's, like, you know, that's a different situation. But if somebody's just, like, vaguely irritated about something, that doesn't mean you jump on them and be like, well, we're gonna fix this right now. Yeah, that is usually the result that ends up happening, is it ends up becoming, like, complete dismissal. It's like you're not allowed to be upset, which is not healthy. That's another extreme. Thank you, Tally. I appreciate it. Why did Scratch Marks go all the way out there if he came back in? That's so bizarre. Why'd he do that? Value. Value. I think some people are just built to do that. They're not built to comfort. They're not built to empathize. They're built to fix. How can you tell if you're IMMR? You don't. Unless you're a hacker. Hackers can see their MMR. Basically, the way people tell if... Where have you been? Tell if they're high MMR is just solely through the fact that they've played a long time and their win rate is high. Because that just means, just based on how MMR works, they have probably hit the cap. They're not actually checking. They're just, like, theorizing with, you know, evidence. They're like, well, theoretically, I'm high MMR. Right, because, like, for example, the fact that almost worked is kind of wild, because you were nowhere close, time or angle, and almost gave it to you. Oh, yeah, that clip was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I love that clip.
I love how in one of the loudest maps in the game for footsteps, I didn't hear her leave the tile at all. Thanks, DVD audio. I think it's just like, I think that the emotional processing of something is extremely important. I'll lose my marbles, man. Already had to W key after her because despite the fact that like this is one of the loudest maps for footsteps, she somehow completely bypassed me. W down there, but now I got the bug. So, yippee. Yeah, that cost us a gem too. Well, that's not very good for you. It's an app comparison because like figuring out yellow flat is still like upsetting and frustrating. Yeah. And eventually, you know, you toughen up and then you change the tire. You're like, okay, I gotta fix this. But like, you imagine you get a flat and your passenger gets out, just like, why are you complaining about this? You're being such a baby about it. You're just like, whoa, dude, relax. You know? Whoa, man, whoa. I'm so amazing and hot and cool. Blocked him. I've never hit that one before. That's a new one. I didn't even know you could, but now I do. While fixing the tire, yeah, that's how my my parents were a lot of the time. They're very much like, if I overreacted in any way, like shaping up, but also fix the thing that caused you to be upset. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Pickle. That's like healthy. That's like the healthy way to approach almost every situation. It's just like, oh gosh, this is happening. Okay, all right, let's actually fix it. Now I've felt it. I've aired it out. Let's just fix it now. All right. That's, you know, it's a healthy way to go about things. What's back here? I love abandoning. I love not playing the ending of the game. Yippee! He didn't have a perk or anything that would really synergize with him, like hiding in lockers, so maybe he was just crouched somewhere? I don't know. I don't know why he had a AFK bird. Maybe he legitimately had to step away for a second. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. How much did you like this lore-accurate alien isolation build? And would you like to see more lore-accurate builds again? Let me know down in the comments below. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. If I don't see you there, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.